Hi everyone. So I've sat down and set up and I've realized that my glasses are filthy. So while I wait for 5 past, like I sort of have been, I'm going to clean my glasses. Don't laugh at how I look without glasses. I'll be able to see better. See what I'm doing. Hello, hello, hello. So everyone get set up. I'm going to get set up too. Here's my cool stand. And my work. So I hope everyone's excited to do this big flower today. I know I am. And the main reason I'm excited, I'll be honest. Hi, I'm loving the class so far. Yay! Thank you. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. The main reason I'm excited is because it means that I'll be finishing this piece, which I'm not sad about. Well, I am sad about, but it's because I have 3 more patterns that I've designed and that I'm ready to work on. But I wanted to finish this first, maybe get some feedback on what I could change or what I could include or whatever into future stitch alongs, because yeah, they're fun. They're nerve-wracking, but I've enjoyed myself, and I hope that you guys have enjoyed doing this too. So I will get my floss. So I've decided that today is going to be the last day, but that doesn't mean that we'll necessarily finish. I do have to make sure that I end. Sorry, the little chat was changing. I thought someone said something. As I was saying, we may not finish the whole flower today because it will take a while. I do need to finish up by 20 past 3, but that kind of goes in line with my length of videos, so I'm not too upset about that. So don't forget, today you're going to need your little straw, about the length or a bit shorter than your needle. So that's my needle and that's my straw. You definitely want to have a straw. It's going to make things a lot easier for you. Yeah, I was going to say something else and it went away. It flew away, whatever. But we won't need our straw straight away. We'll need to get our floss set up and all of that jazz. So my desk set up. And I have a energy drink that I'll cover up the brand. Not affiliated. Haha. I'm not big enough to be affiliated by anybody. Oh, I need my chat. Okay. We've got 0 minutes. All right. I will just open this and then I will move my phone so that you guys can see what's going on. All right. Here we go. All right, let me know if that looks all right. You guys can see everything. So I've got to move my needle minder today. It can just get attached to the actual embroidery hoop itself. So today we are going to start with DMC, I'm just double checking I'm not telling you the wrong one, DMC 688. We want to have all 6 strands. Oh, I've got a tiny little cut of it, so I'll have to cut off a new piece. We want a long bit this time again. And fair warning, you are going to go through quite a lot of floss today. So I'm just threading my needle. And I'm going to do my quilter's knot. I didn't actually show it yesterday, so I will show how to do the quilter's knot again today. We just want to pinch, want to wrap around 3 times, pinch it in between, around the needle, pull it through. And then that's our little knot. Ta-da! Oh yeah, I've got nail polish on my finger today because my eldest wanted to, she wanted to paint her own nails, and it was a disaster, so I had to clean it up. Okay, I'm going to get a pen, and I'm going to get my finished piece. So we're pretty much going to do, it's sort of a mixture between what we did with the bullion stitch and what we did with the buds. We're going to do a little triangle in the middle and then work around and around and around and around. We're only going to do maybe like 2 levels, I guess. You'll understand what I mean by levels. For the light pink, we're going to do lots of the middle shade of pink, and then we're only going to do like a couple of highlights. As you can see, there's no dark pink on this side. That's because I wanted to sort of highlight that the sun was like coming in from this direction, if that makes sense. So we can kind of start like, that's our little triangle, and then we want to sort of go like that. Like I said, similar to the bullion stitches, where we're just going to make the first 3 kind of wrap around themselves, I guess. So we'll come up. Oh, that is squeaky today. We'll come up like we did, because we are going to be doing the cast on stitch again, which is what we did here and here and here. We are just going to make it super awesome today. Come on. I've kind of called it the exaggerated cast on stitch. So we want it to sit where it's come up, where the thread has come up. We're going to get our straw, which, don't tell me I've lost my straw, there it is. We are going to just put it over our needle and hold it in place, and then we're going to do our little wraps. So your first one, you don't want it to slide off the straw. See, I've got it just sitting at the end, because it is easy for the first one to kind of fall off the straw a little bit. And once you get in the rhythm of it, then you'll be set. So I'm just going to get the first one stitched up, and then I will slow down and do this like I did yesterday, where I will break down how to do the stitch. I just want to get the first one out of the way, so to speak. And see how I'm stopping and like bunching them all up. You want it to, you don't want to have them spread out like this and then bunch them up all together, because otherwise you'll find that your little loops along here, like I've got one here that's a little bit too long, there's just going to be an uneven amount of gaps. So that I think that is probably a good amount. I'm just going to count them. Get another needle. Hi, Lindsay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We'll go for we'll actually undo one because I don't like how long that is. So we'll go for 12. We're going to gently hold it all in place. We're going to pull our straw out, pull the needle through, which I actually found one of my little thimble gripper things in my daughter's bedroom today while we were playing LOL dolls. So I'm going to put that on my finger in a sec. And I'm just pulling that through while holding all of this in place. And then we just fan it out. Having floss issues. There we go. And it is gonna, this first one is a bit big, but it's gonna get covered up. But it is gonna tighten the end loop, and that's okay. As long as you don't pull too hard, that you're gonna pull through more than just the end one, then you are set. And then I just pull it back through. What is going on with my floss? Yesterday it was my needle being silly. Today it's my floss being all janky. It's all twisted. And that is our first one. Isn't it cute? So as you can see, it is the same as what we've done here. It's just, yeah, it's exaggerated. It's pretty. Now I'm coming up, hopefully you can see that. I'm coming up at the end of this triangle line for the next one. And that's used quite a lot of floss, to be clear. I can't show you how much, but you just have to trust me. And now the main thing we want to do is just keep our other one out of the way so that we don't pick it up with our needle, which is a bit tricky, but we want to maintain all of our gorgeous little loops that we've done. And I've just pricked myself. Ouch. Not bleeding. Alright, so I've actually pulled the needle all the way through, which is a little bit annoying. But to pull it back through, I've just pulled on this end so that it's just a bit more rigid. We put our little straw back on. I need to give myself more thread. It's not going to happen, I don't think. No, that's okay. Alright, so to do the cast on stitch, we're going to go over our finger. This is the way that I prefer to do it. There is the other way, which I will show as well. We go over our finger, wrap it around, and then we want to grab the loop underneath the finger. And that is what is going to go around the straw. So again, over the finger, wrap it around. And if you need to pull it with your other finger to get it around the straw, that's okay. Whatever you need to do to make it work is fine. And just always keeping in mind that it doesn't fall off the end of the straw. I've got it really close to the end, that's okay. And that they all sit next to each other as you go so that you can control the distance between each of these little loops here. And as you can probably tell, this is why we are not going to get all of this done today, because it does take quite a lot of these cast on stitches to fully fill up. But as you can see, it's worth it in the end. It looks very cool. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2 more. 11 and 12. So I'm going to hold it gently in place here, squeeze it around the needle as I pull the straw out, pull the needle through, and it's still so tangled. My floss is just very tangled up. It's giving me issues. Just going to pull them through separately. Alright. Now I'm going to just gently put all the loops in place, pull through to tighten it, but not too tight, as I've said, and then finish that one off. And so it kind of makes it look like there's one, but that's okay. You'll be able to tell once there's more in there, it will just like sit up and bunch up a bit more in the middle. Okay, I'm going to come up here. Then I'm only going to be able to get one more cast on stitch with this cut of thread. Okay, get our needle ready, put our straw on top, and then I'm going to do 12 more. This one might have to be shorter because I'm running out of thread. Yeah, I can only do 11 on that one. That's okay. I really doubt anyone is going to come to my house and count all of my pieces of embroidery. So I'm just turning the little loops around so they all go in the same direction, being very gentle about it, pulling it so it's tight but not too tight, and then go back in. And that is the middle of our little flower. That one needs to sit on top. And isn't that cute? Alright, I'm going to flip it over and cut off this thread because I really don't have much. That's all I had left. And that's why we want to have a really short straw, because otherwise you're just going to waste so much floss. So I'm going to do this. So that's when I was saying earlier, we're going to do 2 levels. This is level 1, and then we're going to do one more circle of the light color. And then we are going to demolish the next pink color. We're going to go through so much, and I have 2. Whoa, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to hear my kids stomping around upstairs right now, being incredibly loud. But yes, I have 2 spare ones of the next color, because you will go through a lot. And as I was saying yesterday, if you find that you run out of, or if you feel like you don't have enough based on how much thread you've just used for this center one, you can do more of this pink in the middle, and then less of this one, and then a little more of this one for the outer side. That's if you feel like you are going to run out of floss for 3, 6, 8, 7. It's okay. It's, as I've said a few times, it's your piece. You do with it whatever you like. maybe you're even doing your own colors. That would be so cool, and I would love to see that. Yeah. My instructions are purely to be taken with a grain of salt. Do with what you will. So I'm just going to come up in the middle. So this was one of my stitches. I'm going to come up roughly in the middle, about a centimeter away from the middle. Oh my gosh, my thread today. What is happening? Seriously, what is going on with this? It's like tied itself in a knot somehow. There we go. Sorry about that. Needed to see what was happening. Okay. And then I'm going to come down in the same spot, but for this one here. No, I don't want to pull that through, do I? And then I'm going to come back up in the same spot that I came in at. Put my little straw back on. And start winding. So the other way to do the cast on stitch is to, as I was showing you all yesterday, we can grab it, wrap it, and thread it. I'm not going to do that for this whole one because I've kind of got it all going the same direction. But if you find that easier, go for it. Oh, my little loops at the bottom. There we go. So I'm thinking for the stream today that I will just work on this, keep the chat open, obviously. And if anyone jumps in and has a question, I'll be happy to answer it. But as I said at the start, I'm not going to finish this flower today. And this is the last stream that I will do for this stitch along. So this will be homework, I guess. So I'm going to need to do more loops here than I did in the middle because it's going to be a little bit longer of a distance. I don't know how many I've done, but that looks about right. So I'm going to pull out the straw, pull it through. So the tricky thing now is to lift up the previous stitches, kind of get them out of the way without wrecking what we've done here. And it is a bit tricky, but it is supposed to be a kind of messy looking flower as well. And that sits the other one up nicely. The other stitch, I mean. Beautiful. Get them out of the way. I need to turn my work for this one. Yeah, that's a strange angle. No. There we go. I'm just going to do the next one. Probably should have counted how many I did for the other second level petal. But it's too late now. Your stitches are so beautiful. I'm definitely still learning different embroidery stitches and mine is so messy. That's okay. Everybody has to learn somewhere. Everybody has to have a beginning. I'm really glad that you're learning. I hope you're enjoying learning, and thank you very much for the compliment. Oh, see, this is the problem that happens when you're doing the cast on stitch. It just gets so tangled up. Like, because I'm doing this motion is adding one tangle to it. So you will find that this just gets annoying. And you do kind of have to just deal with it. I'm loving learning all these stitches. Thank you. You're very welcome. Okay, that looks about right. Pull it off. Whoops, drop my needle. I want to hold it all in place until it sort of sits in a way that's not going to just fall apart. And then come in and turn them all. This angle's really strange to look at all the stitches. There we go. Okay, I need another needle because I need to do some rearranging with this one. There we go. Cool. I'm actually going to need to get more floss now because I've run out. Do you ever hang your thread and needle to untangle? I do, but I don't have any room to do it with this setup. But I definitely, if you can, I definitely recommend you hang it. You just let it dangle and untangle like that. You can just spin it as well, as long as you spin it in the correct direction. And that helps untangle it too. I do that a lot when I'm cross stitching as well. But yeah, I'm not doing it right now because I just don't have the room to let it hang, unless I like take it off my stand and do it that way. So it's purely an annoyance just for you guys. Snip. I'm gonna get a really big cut of floss this time. Look, I've already almost run out on my bobbin. I'm just gonna pull what's remaining on here actually. It's a really, really long piece, but that's okay. It gets short really quick. So I'm currently letting it hang to begin with. And I'm thinking, just because I'm going to use the rest of this color, that I'm going to kind of have it off center like I've done this one. So I have done it in the center here, but I've got to fill in this side to make it even in the middle. And then I'm going to do like maybe 2 on this side of the circle to kind of make it look like it's catching the light a little bit. I missed the beginning. Are you using 6 strands? I am using 6 strands, yes. It just looks a little bit too bleh if you if you use less than 6. And this don't get me wrong, this stitch looks great if you're doing small delicate flowers and you're using less strands. It's just for this piece in particular, it just doesn't look as so strong if you were to do like say 3 strands. The only time we are using less than 6 strands in this piece is for this little branch here, and the other little branches here. So we're using 3 on this and 4 on this. Everything else is 6. Oops. Now I've got too much floss to work with. Plus this angle's weird. One more for luck. There we go. And I just think I've put a knot in it. In my floss. Just bear with me. I would have. Yep, there we go. Okay, I'm going to pull my straw out, pull my needle through, hold everything in place while I deal with the thread not coming through. And then once we're down to just a little bit, so this is the middle of the strand. Once we're down to just a little bit, that's when I start maneuvering the little knots at the top so that they sit out on the edge, and then pull it through. And then rearrange, which you do a lot of. And you kind of, once you get sort of into the middle of the flower more, it is going to get a bit more tricky. This one's still not sitting the way I want it to. I'm going to turn my work again. So I can see what I'm doing. Oh, that's the problem. Okay. Here we go. So I've kind of just grabbed the strand, the top knot of the loops, and just with the needle, I've just like put it through, and I'm just tugging them into place, basically. You want them all to sit as nicely as like this one is sitting. It might look a little messy, but yeah, this one was a little bit funky. Maybe I haven't pulled it through. Yeah, I hadn't pulled it through all the way. There we go. So I'm going to do a little bit more of this pink, and then we'll swap at the time. Okay. Pulling through the fabric as well, because I still haven't trimmed the edges of the fabric. Naughty me. It's a bit late for that now. What have I grabbed at the back? Okay. Put our straw on. Start wrapping. If you want to actually wrap, you know, the kind of singing, you can. I'm not going to. I won't put you all through that. That's my terrible dad joke for you all. Now that we're sort of out of the 2 inner layers, it is simply the same as doing the bullion stitches, where you kind of just want to fill in as you go. You want to fill in gaps, you want to fill in the areas so they're relatively even, and natural looking. Oh, that was a good one. Yes, I like that one. That was a good one. Just gotta fix up that last little bit on the end here. We got a freaking strand of this. Oh, I just pulled a bit, the wrong bit. So I've just pulled one of the 6 strands, and as you can see here, I've undone it a little bit. It is very delicate stitch when you're doing it this exaggerated. I'll be able to hide that with the other stitches. Like once there's stuff here, I'll be able to tuck it down so it'll kind of sit like that and you won't see it. I'm just trying to get the bit of fabric out. I might just cut it. That'd be easiest. Okay. It's all this bits here. Okay. That's fine. We'll do one more in this pink. What kind of needles do you use? I use cross stitch and tend to grab whatever needle. You will need to use a sharp needle for this. The cross stitch ones will not work because they're rounded. You need to have a sharp, I think it's called a tapestry needle. I'm probably wrong, but a round-ended needle will not work because you want to actually pierce the fabric. Unless you're doing it on Aida, and you are happy to just follow the holes that are on the Aida cloth. You can do that if you prefer. But yeah, if you're using quilter's square cut fabric like I am, or something else, you will need a sharp needle. So like if you're wanting to do a stitch like this on your stitch people portraits, for example, then a sharp needle will still be helpful, but a pointed one will work just as fine. Just not as easy. We are about to run out of floss. And I need at least one more of those. Please? There we go. Okay. So the middle of our flower, we're not going to do anything in the middle of our flower, like any knots or anything like that, but it is kind of good to keep track of where it is, because when you finish, you want it to all fan out from that point, and if you kind of lose it, then it doesn't look as right, or it won't look as right. Alright, I'm going to tie off that thread, and then I'm going to move on to my next colour. We'll do a little bit of that, and then I'm going to have to love you and leave you all. Let you all finish the piece all on your own. Because if you are just joining me now and you missed the start, I'm not going to be finishing this piece on stream. There's other. I have other projects I need to work on, but there is other stitch-alongs I want to do as well, and I want to get started on them. So I'm going to finish this so that it's done, because I would love to have a second one finished. But I'm not going to do it on stream because it's kind of all the same. I was leaving the stream up so that people could jump in and ask questions, and yeah, I'll still do my hour. So I've already only got like that much left on the next color. This next color is 3687 DMC, or whatever color you are using, as long as it's a shade of this same one that you've done in the middle here. You can use whatever colors you want. Like I actually considered doing this in purple for the stitch along, just to mix it up a bit, but I thought that might be a bit confusing for people wanting to copy exactly. So I'm just getting my thread ready. But yeah, you want to pick a color. You want to use the darker shade of whatever color you choose, and you want to have 3 shades of the same color for the middle one. You don't want to pick like 3 different blues that are roughly the same. You want them to have like the similar name, where DMC call them like light and dark and medium and very light, and yeah, hopefully you know what I'm talking about. So you are going to have to move your work out of the way quite a bit. I'm probably going to get maybe just 1 stitch out of this cut of floss, to be honest. Alright. Now we do our next color. You guys will all be experts at the cast on stitch after the end of this. I hope you find whichever way works best for you with wrapping it. It is good to know both ways, because there are other stitches, like there's a double cast on stitch where you have to do them both. You have to do it both ways. That's good. Okay. Just using my needle to shift it all into place. You've said, I use the sharp needles for cross stitch, the blunt ones drive me nuts. Oh, that's interesting. I have to cross stitch with the blunt ones, otherwise I just stab myself all the time. Then you'll be set with embroidery. Okay, so I'm doing a little shorter one because I've only got a little bit of floss left. I probably didn't make it short enough. This one should look interesting, because that's all I can fit on there. Doesn't look too bad. So again, I'm finding the middle of my flower to make sure that everything sits the way I want it to sit as I go. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. Alright, I'm going to flip it over again. Snip. Alright. So if you're wanting, I talked about this on a different day, but if you're wanting to use no bobbins, like these are bobbins. If you're wanting to just use the skein itself, but keep it nice and neat, if you pull this little tail from the number end, it's not going to tangle. There's just a fun tidbit for you. I will be bobbinating that because I don't really like them sitting on those. Personally, hopefully you guys are all still there. My version of the stream has crashed. Let me just refresh. Okay. So I'll do another 5 minutes of the stitching. And then I'll let you guys all finish it on your own, I guess. You can all venture out to the worldwide scariness of embroidery. So it can be a bit of a rabbit hole, I'll be honest. There is so many stitches that you can do. They all produce varying styles of stitch. I don't know what else to call it. My watch is telling me to get up and walk around. No, watch. You're not the boss of me. I'm busy. Okay. Come on. You can do it. Oh. So I had to stop there because it's trying to tangle up all my other stitches. And so this is where, at this point is where I pulled through one of the strands of one of the stitches. So at this point I'll try and hide that. So I'm just going to grab it as I put my needle through, and that'll just kind of pull it down and hide it away. Come on, floss. All the way through. There we go. See, now it's gone. Where's my middle gone? There. Might not be the worst thing to just let it go. Boop. You just have to watch you don't stab yourself in the back over the work. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. Hopefully you've learned something new. And if you haven't, then hopefully you've still enjoyed making this. For everyone that's bought the pattern, I will be sending out a feedback form. It's like 2 questions to just help me for my future stitch-alongs that I want to do, so I know what I can include or what I should change. And I would love it if I could, yeah, get some feedback, and that'd be super duper. If you include a picture, I'm thinking about adding a like section on the page of the pattern on my website of people's work, which would be pretty cool. Okay, I did not pull that through tight enough before doing that, so hopefully I didn't mess that up too much. There we go. Salvaged. But hopefully you get the idea. I'll do one more because I've still got the thread to do one more, and I've kind of got this little space over here to do another one. If you're live and still watching and you got any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. This will be my last stitch that I do for today, or for the stream at least, because I gotta start getting ready to take my daughter to an appointment. Oh, come on, just one more. One more. It's not gonna work. I might be able to finagle it like that. Yep. Okay. It's so cool. I love it so much. And I hope that you love it as well. We'll get in nice and close. It's fun to just kind of to pat and touch. So we're gonna leave it there for today. If you've missed me saying it, I'll just reiterate again. Today's the last day. Thank you so much, everyone who bought the pattern, and thank you so much to everyone who's joined me for the live sessions, and especially asked me questions and given me feedback and posted their works in progress. It's so awesome to see you guys working on it. I love seeing my patterns being made and finished and all of that. It gives me warm fuzzies. So yeah, if you've bought the pattern, I will be sending out a really, really small feedback form that I would love for you to fill out. And otherwise, thank you so much. And my next, have I got it on me? I think it's going to be this one. This is just a demo of what I'm thinking will be for my next one. It's not going to be many stitches. It's going to kind of be like the same amount of stitches and probably the same amount of difficulty. But I'm really excited about it. I need to stitch up an example like this one's example to make sure that it actually looks okay. But yeah, otherwise, thank you, and I will catch you around the internet. See ya!